All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk about the Dragon Age Veilguard shills that are out here right now in full force and trying to gaslight everybody that they possibly can because they cannot just sit there and admit that this game is going to absolutely bomb compared to its previous iterations. People are going to be checked out from Dragon Age Veilguard, and even though Dragon Age as a series has people that are holding on, right? They're holding on for hope. They're hoping that BioWare makes a return to form because there's no way that BioWare could be as dead as it seems. Well, those people are going to find out really quickly that they're going to be just as disappointed as those same kind of Star Wars fans were when The Acolyte got released.
I almost used the F word.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about one particular shill, and this shill goes by the name of K-Med. Now, K-Med apparently is not a gamer or an influencer, but then according to his headline, he says tech and video game enthusiast. So I'm assuming he's one of those ideological people that thinks he should separate himself from the word gamer, because apparently it's a bad thing to be a gamer these days or whatever, even though we keep winning over and over and over again. But he made this post right here about Dragon Age the Veilguard, and it's an absolute shill post. And not only is he getting roasted in his comment section, but he's also the type that apparently wants to claim that the rating for the game being an M means everybody should go to hell, essentially, with their opinions and their criticisms, even though he's somebody who advocated for the censorship in Stellar Blade, which, by the way, was also an M-rated game. So let's get into this video, guys. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Again, guys, the hypocrisy is astounding when it comes to these shills, right? And sometimes they don't really fully think it through the way that they shill for a particular video game. In this aspect, let's read his post and then we'll go over it. He says, "You guys do realize that Dragon Age the Veilguard is a rated M game. If you, as a grown-ass adult, cannot get past that there is an option deep in the character customization for top surgery scars, then I cannot fathom how difficult your day-to-day existence is. Don't buy the game. Done. Go play something else. You're not fighting a battle alongside Grums. You're just wasting your fucking time." Wow, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute fucking badass. Now, again, I want to make something very clear. K-Med, all right, was a person who was making fun of the people who were trying to do, hashtag free Stellar Blade, the people who were signing the petition about free Stellar Blade. He was making fun of all of them, okay? I have some posts here from his previous timeline where it says these dudes have moved on from protesting censorship in Stellar Blade and are now petitioning to remove black people from Assassin's Creed Shadows. Truth is stranger than fiction. This feels like it belongs to an episode of Black Mirror. And then we have another one. At this point, free Stellar Blade petition is just comedy. Stellar Blade is a lot of fun, but voice acting is blah, blah, blah. It's amazing this person was advocating for the censorship, but felt like he had to play it because now that it was censored, he had to shill for it at least a little bit, right? But I want to remind people, Stellar Blade was an M-rated game, just like Dragon Age the Veilguard. So when I see a post like this, where he says, if you as a grown-ass adult cannot get past the fact that there's an option, blah, 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 whatever, I want to make something very clear. This is coming from a grown-ass adult who couldn't get past the option that you were able to see a little bit of cleavage on Eve, right? And it was, in fact, an option because there was outfits in the game that would fully cover up Eve if you couldn't handle a little bit of digital titty. But apparently, digital titty is so taboo that you are allowed to have a complete meltdown over it. You are allowed to advocate for the censorship of it, so long as, of course, you're on the right political ideology, of course. You got to remember that. But still, it's okay for them to advocate for the censorship of a video game that happens to be an M-rated video game, which means, again, for adult audiences, it's okay for them to advocate for that, but apparently it's not okay for people to advocate for the removal or the laughter of the option of a top surgery scar in a fucking video game where there's magic and dragons, right? Like, it's very clear to me that these people must not actually play video games. Maybe he's not lying when he says he's not a gamer in his profile, because at the end of the day, there has to be rules within a certain world that's being built. If you have a world that has no rules, then you will not have an interesting world. It's just plain and simple, right? You cannot say that this is a world where you're literally able to change your gender through magic, but then apparently you're going to have top surgery scars. Like, why would you have top surgery scars in a world where magic like that exists? It just doesn't make any fucking sense. And yet here we are expected to just eat it because trans people have to see themselves, right? The 0.1% of the population, if it's even that high, has to see themselves in a game that they're never gonna fucking play, right? It's just ridiculous, bro. And most of the people, let's be real, most of the trans people who are gonna be playing Dragon Age Veilguard, they're trans grifters. So what does that mean? They're not fully committed. They don't have top surgery scars. They damn sure don't have bottom surgery. They're just trans in name and an image alone because it gives them the clout and the love that they are so desperately looking for. And the moment that clout and love and speciality goes away, guess what's going to happen? They're going to go back to being a gay male, which is what they were before the whole trans thing became clout worthy. But again, guys, I just think it's absolutely hilarious that he tries to make this into an ideological battle because they're projecting and they know that it is, right? They know that this is something very important. They know this is something extremely, extremely important to their movement, right? And it was made by somebody who is also a trans person for clout. Well, it's really, Corin Bush is really a trans person to save their fucking job. Let's be real with you. But still, you know, trans person for clout made a video game, a second video game, mind you. They also worked on The Sims 4 that also has top surgery scars. So the same person worked on the two games that have featured top surgery scars. Shocker, right? So all of this stuff is connected, and it makes you start wondering about how deep the rabbit hole really goes. But let's just stick to the topic. Ultimately, this person, K-Med, I think is a massive hypocrite, which is not really too shocking for a lot of these people who are on this particular side. They're massive hypocrites. They say that Stellar Blade, you know, deserved the censorship, or it totally makes sense that they would censor Eve from Stellar Blade because she's way too sexual. But, you know, K-Med is perfectly fine with the super androgynous toddler-looking fucking boys that these people fetishize and they love to create in Dragon Age because that's all you can make. You can't make somebody with curves in Dragon Age the Veilguard. Everybody is a fucking Pokemon Go character. That's how the body styles look. They all look super androgynous, no hips, no titties, no butt, no nothing. Seriously, like the male and the females have the same exact body proportions, same exact stances, and they're doing this purposely because ultimately the ugliest people in the world are trying to make video games right now, and they're using it as their advantage and their way to push their ugliness to the world. And they don't like normal women. They don't like real women. They don't like women that can homegrown some ass and titties. They don't like that because the trans men that are making this video game, or the trans women that are making this video game, are the ones who can't do that, so they hate it and they want to project their insecurities on you. Ultimately, I think it's hilarious again. And again, I want to remind people, Stellar Blade was an M-rated game and people actively wanted that censored, and they wanted the sexualization as little or gone as possible. And meanwhile, with Dragon Age Veilguard, we're supposed to just take it on the chin and pretend like everything is A-okay. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Oh, by the way, before I finish, don't buy the game. Go play something else. That comment right there, that's a death note for a lot of video games. And I don't know why these people keep using this term, especially for TV shows and movies. I don't know why you keep using these terms, because guess what? Some people aren't going to buy the game. Some people are going to go play something else. And by some, I mean a lot of people. And you're going to realize just how many sales you lost. And Dragon Age Veilguard may not fail this time, but I guarantee you, if they try to come out with another Dragon Age game, it will fail. If you keep doing the same exact shit, it will. Some people are holding on for hope. Like I said earlier in the video, they're trying everything possible to hope that this game is going to somehow be good, even though all the signs are pointing to it being absolute shit. Some people are hoping. And they're going to find out that this is going to be their Acolyte, right? You know how the Acolyte woke up a lot of Star Wars people who were on the fence, and they're kind of like, oh, I'm dealing with shit, but hopefully we get something good. The Acolyte was that Death Note. Dragon Age Veilguard just might be that Death Note for Dragon Age fans and BioWare fans overall. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.